and I am completing year 1:45 of my court-ordered community service. So thank you so much for inviting me. The journey of 1,000 yards begins with one 300-yard restraining order. It's great to see all of you. I cannot tell you how honored that I am to be here. Tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about rugby, which you are all familiar with. The game that began in 1823 in the town of Rugby, England. Thank goodness it wasn't in Wales. Nobody would be able to pronounce it. But it was there where a young boy was playing a game of soccer. In this game of soccer, at one point he decided, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. So he reached out and he picked up the ball, and he began running with this ball, and an entire new game was born. The way that rugby is played was based on how this young man was trying to keep from getting tackled, and how the other team was attempting to tackle him. And rugby was born then and there. Now, my name is Dylan. My rookie season was 2007. I want to tell you a little bit about how I became a rookie. I fell in love with the sport watching the 2003 World Cup. And I watched the game and I thought, this is the greatest game ever. I want to play this game. I need to play this game. So as soon as I get insurance, I'm going to find a way to play this game. Sure enough, in 2007, I got married to someone who had insurance. And I decided I'm going to go and find out how to play rugby. So I went on the University of the Internet, and I found, lo and behold, the West Side Harlequins. I'll take a dozen of those. They might come to Los Angeles. So I decided I want to, and there it said, right there, come and learn the game of rugby. Well, I thought that was fantastic. So I signed up to come and I played a game of rugby. Oh, one other thing I need to mention, it's very important. In 2007, I was 37 years old. And I thought this would be the perfect time to go and learn rugby. So, I remember going to our absolute first practice. I was wearing my all-black shirt. I was wearing my matching all-black shorts. I absolutely looked the part. And then, as people started to arrive for the practice, I noticed that nobody else did. I was beginning to feel more and more self-conscious. It was kind of like going to a poker game dressed as the Jack of Diamonds. People noticed, but I practiced. I practiced as hard as I could. However, I was a 37-year-old man. And at the time, the Harlequins were, I believe, a D2 team attempting to be a D1 team. So they were very, very intense. So, a 37-year-old man trying to learn rugby with a D2 team trying to become a D1 team was very much like joining the Navy SEALs to get a little exercise. And I did learn the game of rugby much the same way that a kitten learns to cross a freeway. It was, you're hoping against hope for the kitten, but you know that it's probably not going to end well. And it didn't end well, but I found a way to serve the club. Because I absolutely loved playing the game. Even though I wasn't very good at it, even though I wasn't very strong at it, even though I didn't know what I was doing and I spent half the time trying not to kill myself or somebody else. So I found another way. Broadcasting. So we went into broadcasting. Enter Time Warner Sports in 2008. Alex, I believe it was our connection at Time Warner Sports. And so Alex came and he said, we need somebody with some announcing chops. So they assembled a crack team of me, Arthur Sears, and Vic Drover. And we stood by the pitch. Alex was on top of the Time Warner Sports truck with one camera at approximately like the 10th row of the 20-yard line is what that camera angle would have been. And he would talk to us inside of our headsets. So we'd have our little earphones on and he would talk to us. And so our broadcast, which you can still find on YouTube, by the way, sounded a lot like this. Okay, we're going to show a replay now. Okay, please don't respond to me. Nobody else can hear me. Sorry. Don't apologize and don't respond. Damn it. Don't swear. If you watch our YouTube video, that's what you'll find. But nevertheless, we did our best as broadcasters. Of course, Vic and Artie were fantastic rugby players. I found a way to serve. I found a way to serve the club, and it was important to me because as I joined the club, I was amazed at how cool, in fact, every single person was. How cool the culture was. Even though I wasn't good, even though I was an old man by rugby standards, the culture invited me in, and I wanted to serve it as best as I possibly could. In fact, I remember a couple of things. I think Ben Smith, where's Ben? Ben's here, there's Ben. All right. And Jeff Hoffman were the captains that time. And here's what that culture meant to me. I talked to Ben, probably I exchanged maybe 50 words with Ben. But 2 of them were nice packs. And that stuck with me for a very, very long time. As far as Jeff is concerned, I think Jeff spoke to me for the first time tonight. But that's okay, because Jeff was a hell of a player, he was very intense, and he had a goal, and I was a yahoo. So I say that with absolute love. And so I'm sitting over here, this is my table right over there. I'm sitting next to Kevin, and I'm sitting next to Zim. And we're talking, and we're talking, and we're talking, we're talking all over him. I'm also sitting next to Jim. Jim I've talked to before, and they're talking about stories. And it occurred to me that, and I wasn't necessarily going to include this, but I feel the need to do it now, is that Kevin and Zimmy said something that was very cool. They said, it doesn't matter. At any point in this game, the stories that are being told at each individual table are exactly the same. They are the same stories, the same parties, the same fight. And it was then which we determined that in this game, you are in fact part of a continuum. You owe your perspective by sitting on the shoulders of giants. And that doesn't always occur to you until you take a look at all the pictures that are around this room. And I saw some of the younger players going up and looking at some of these pictures in the room. And there was a bit of the Dead Poets Society there. And they realize that they're part of a very, very long, long continuum, part of the tapestry, part of Darius, part of the West Side Harlequins, and of course, part of the Milwaukee Barbarians. That culture was important to me. It really made an impact, so when they called me to come back and do this, I said, absolutely, no doubt, I am there. And there was one thing that I wanted to put together that I thought summed up the spirit of rugby. I didn't have it myself. And because I'm an old man, I had to go back. I had to go back a ways. And I had to go all the way back to Theodore Teddy Roosevelt. And perhaps you've heard this quote, and perhaps you haven't, but I'm going to share it with you now. It goes a little something like this. It's not the critic that matters. The man who points out the foibles of the strong man. Or the person that shows off and says to the doer of deeds how they could have done better. No, all of the credit belongs to the person in the arena. Their face marred with dirt and sweat and blood, who strive valiantly, who err, who fall short again and again, for there can be no effort without error and shortcoming, but who attempt to do the deed. And at their best, at the end of the day, they know the triumph of high achievement. And at their worst, if they failed daring greatly. So their place will never be among the cold and timid souls that know neither victory nor defeat. And that, my friends, in my estimation, is rugby. And that is rugby players. So, let's go ahead and get this party started. I have one announcement to make. So the balls that you signed, those are going up for a silent auction. You'll see on all those pictures, there are little lists down there. You can actually sign up and bid on those balls and those pictures for the silent auctions. Also, one little bit of business we need to take care of. Apparently, barbarian ties are for sale for $10. There you go. Out of a trunk in the parking lot. You go grab it. No, in fact, talk to Austin Motor. Austin Motor will take care of those ties for you.
Where's Austin?
Where's Austin? Austin is right over here. Are you wearing one of those ties, Austin? You have one on right now? All right, so if you want to see what it looks like, you can come and stare at Austin's chest, and then you can buy one of the ties. So now, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, I would like to take just a moment, a brief moment of silence out of respect before we go any further. If you'll pause with me, because I would like to remember and celebrate those that we have lost, the brothers that are no longer with us. In the past 50 years, we have lost teammates, friends, coaches, mentors. Their laughter once filled the sidelines. Their spirit still fills the jerseys that we wear today. But their memory lives on in the stories that we tell, in the traditions that we hold as a club, and the love that we have for the game. So I'd like to take just a moment of silence, if you would be so kind. Please extend your memory to those people. Invite them here in the way that they can be invited. Thank you.